Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And something I have been doing the last couple of days while attending the Tony Robbins event is been thinking about this channel, one rental at a time, and the fact that I have been lucky enough to interview over 100 real estate millionaires. I've been going through some of the past interviews, looking at their transcripts, trying to see if there's another book inside those interviews that I could create that would be a benefit to you, the world, this channel, other investors. And one of the things that has jumped out at me is I've created a top 10 list of traits that real estate millionaires, and more specifically, what I call self made real estate millionaires. What are those top 10 traits? Over the next 3 or 4 weeks, I plan to do a video or live stream on each one. We're going to talk about each one for 8 to 12 minutes. You will see that I bring up these topics with my experts. If you have watched the first set of interviews with Greg Dickerson this morning, you see that we get into some of the topics, so you will see me hit these sporadically. But here's the deal. The number one trait of real estate millionaires, self-made real estate millionaires, is focus. Here's the deal. What I see a lot of real estate investors doing, the folks that have interest, is they're a little too much shotgun going on. I want to flip or wholesale or multifamily or mobile homes or land development or house hack or private money or whatever. Or it's, I want to invest in Detroit. No, Cleveland. No, Huntsville. No, California. There's a lot of that kind of shotgun approach, and that does not work for real estate millionaires. All of the ones that I've interviewed, including myself, as we document in our wonderful book, One Rental at a Time, we started very myopically focused. And if you're a member of my course, you know that step one is you are going to get hyper focused. The people that I help, and most people watching this, your number one constraint is usually not money or skill or network. It's time. If you're like me, you already worked 8 to 12 hours a day. You slept 6 or 7 hours a day. You had family responsibilities for 2 or 3 hours. You got nothing left. How are you supposed to take care of yourself? Work out, decompress, skill up, do something else. You can't. Too many of you are being too shotgunned, too all over the place. I believe, and my 100+ interviews of other real estate millionaires have proven it at least true in those interviews, that focus is important, at least at the beginning. Again, to remind you of my story, you will find in that wonderful book right there. We spent a year looking locally. Didn't work. Then we went to Fresno, California, and we haven't left after 20 years. I've looked at that market every day for 20 years. I looked at one zip code, one asset type between 12 and 1,500 square feet for 3 or 4 years. That's all I looked at. That's all I had time for. If you're one of my students and you kind of follow this channel, I want to let you know that you should be able to get your daily review, your daily search, your daily update, your daily work done in 10 to 20 minutes. If you take the course and you're doing the work in the course, the first 7 to 10 days might take you a half hour. You're building your spreadsheet. You're figuring out what columns are important to you, which ones are not. You're figuring out, how do I make update from active to pending, and what happens when they go away? These are all things that you will get familiar with in the course. But once you've done it for, say, 10 days, every day for the next 30 to 45 days, you're going to spend 10 to 20 minutes and you will have made progress. That's the beauty of the course. It's understanding your little market, your hyper focus, and making progress. The same goes if you're a wholesaler, flipper, multifamily, whatever you want. Another thing you will hear Greg Dickerson and I talk about later, if you were going to be investing out of state or out of area, in the beginning, please do yourself a favor, pick one city. In our discussion, which I think goes live at 3 o'clock, you will hear us talk about, hey, if you live in Chicago, how can you compare Raleigh, North Carolina with San Francisco, California? You can't, right? If you're going to be in Chicago, pick one, learn. Don't try to compare everything. Also, we talk about cheap being just that. It's not necessarily better. Plenty of people go broke with cheap. So again, I think the number one trait of self-made real estate millionaires is focus. Because again, the only resource you can't get back is time. Time. We need to appreciate our time more. You're already so busy. You already have so much responsibility. I give you permission to get hyper focused. For us, that focus took about 4 years until we expanded. And then we went to very small multifamily, 5, 8, 10 units. But we didn't just jump there. We didn't just arrogantly go there. We were landlords by that point. We'd had evictions. We've had turnover. We had rent increases, all of those things. The other thing I want you to recognize is most of you, if you take 20 minutes a day times 7, that's 140 minutes. Let's call it 2.5 hours. That's all I ask for you. Most of you are spending 4, 8 hours a week trying to figure it all out. You're reading Bigger Pockets. You're bouncing around YouTube University. Stop. You're not getting that time back. You're actually not getting better. You're getting confused. It is not helpful. I suggest that learning a market is a skill. It takes time. So give it time. Get hyper-focused. Get repetitive. So again, I will be putting together a list of videos about the top 10 traits of self-made real estate millionaires. The number one thing is focus. It's number one in the course. There's no chance we could have gone anywhere if I was not hyper-focused looking for deals in Fresno, California. I couldn't do it. I was traveling all over the world. I was trying to remain healthy. I had family responsibilities. That's it. Do the work. Get hyper-focused. And when you're done, don't feel like you have to put in more time. You hit your market, 10 to 20 minutes, go do something else. You've checked the box. I give you permission to spend less time, but you've got to put in the time. It's got to be focused. You can do it. I want you to know that all the real estate millionaires that we've interviewed on this channel, they all want you to know it's possible. You have to do the work. It takes time. There are 9 other traits that we will talk about over the next 2 or 3 weeks. But again, number one is focus. Let me know what you think. Have a wonderful day. Bye.